take projection.
It's Friday morning, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode, finally, of the Alabama Slam podcast. I'm your host, Corey Hanna.
What's going on, guys? It's Patrick Akers.
We are back in this motherfucker. We've been off for a few weeks. We've had a lot of stuff going on, both of us, work-wise, deadlines and employee shortages at Patrick's business, and a lot of stuff happening. And but we're back, yeah. And I didn't even watch wrestling for probably 2 or 3 weeks at least. I just didn't have time.
Living life is not very conducive to watching the up-teen hours of wrestling programming that's out there every single week.
Yeah, it was funny because one night, I think it was a Friday. No, it was a Monday night. I just texted you at like 10 o'clock and was like, I totally fucking forgot Raw was on tonight.
Yeah.
I was still working at like 10 o'clock and was like, oh shit, that's what I was wanting to do tonight, was watch Raw.
Yeah.
Just totally fucking forgot.
Yeah.
Missed a lot of wrestling. I finally started watching some stuff again. I watched Collision last Saturday. We'll talk about that just a little bit. And I watched SmackDown, but I didn't see Raw this week, and I did see Dynamite again this week. So I've seen a little bit of wrestling in the last week.
So what we're saying is, if we miss something,
yeah,
apologies.
We're only going to touch on a couple things that have happened in the last week or so, and then we're going to kind of run down the Crown Jewel card. So this is kind of dipping our toes back in it. We'll be back on track next week, and then the following week we'll have the AEW Full Gear rundown, so and maybe a little bit more news to announce when we get a little closer to time for that. So yeah, man, I hope y'all missed us. We missed y'all, and we're just going to get right into it. I think first let's probably get into some of the AEW stuff, and then we'll swing into WWE and lead into Crown Jewel. But one thing I wanted to watch and just didn't get to watch was Andrade versus Danielson, and you said you watched it on Collision a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, is that 2 weeks ago at this point? Yeah. So Danielson, Collision has now become just the Danielson wrestling extravaganza
until he got injured again.
Until he got his orbital bone shattered by what looked to be a back elbow from Andrade, that spinning back elbow that I love so much. When it actually does damage, it doesn't look good. When it is safe, it looks like an amazing move.
Yeah.
But
when you get fucked up.
Yeah, when you get smacked for real, it's not that great. And you could tell, like, when they had the match with Cassidy and Okada, Danielson had a little bit of a shiner under his eye. And, of course, they played in the storyline now. But, yeah, Andrade and Danielson was good. I mean, this is kind of what Collision has become, right? They kind of just give you a match, MJF and Omega, which we'll talk about. In the absence of CM Punk, this is kind of what the show's been.
Put on some bangers.
You're going to get some House of Black stuff. House of Black was all over Collision these past 2 weeks, disrupting everything. You're going to get some Ricky Starks. You're going to get some FTR. Those are kind of the stalwarts of that show. And yeah, I mean, the wrestling with AEW has always been great. It's the stories that are trying to pick up, but now I guess leading into basically the one main story that is circulating throughout all of AEW is the MJF saga, the saga of friendship or lack of friendship that he has now had. Obviously the Adam Cole is on the shelf, maybe not. Maybe he's behind the devil mask. I don't know. We'll get into that too, but the chickens have come home to roost, so to speak, for MJF and all his wicked ways of the past. Now you have all these characters. Wardlow is coming back into the fray. Samoa Joe is got his sights on a rematch.
Yeah, Jay
White and Bullet Club Gold, obviously his main focus. You got MJF's relationship with Roddy Strong, next Strong in the Kingdom. You got what was happening on a Wednesday. The MJF and the Acclaimed, they didn't get the W, but they got the scissor at the end, which was a great moment. So, it is cool. Like, this is one of the things that we had a problem with when it came to Hangman's title reign, which we were like, Hangman's a champion, but he feels like the most inconsequential part of this entire show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with MJF, the exact opposite is true.
Yeah.
The whole show circles around this guy and the champion, and that's kind of how it should be. Again, it's an old school mentality. That's Ric Flair and the Horsemen. Like everything just revolved around what they were doing, whether it be Tully and Arn or people chasing Rick. Like,
yeah, you even got that very staged shot last week after the MJF and Omega match where you see Samoa Joe watching a monitor in the back. Then it cuts to the Bullet Club watching a monitor. Then you got fucking everybody else everybody's watching the monitors back there watching Wardlow, like you said.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people complain that, they felt like the MJF and Omega thing was kind of wasted because it just kind of popped up out of nowhere. But
doesn't matter. It was a great match.
Well, I think that's kind of what separates them from WWE in a lot of like. I did like it because it was unexpected, because Omega they just happened to be backstage. MJF says a thing 13 days. Omega comes back out and was like, all right, let's do it on Saturday. And then you get the great closers, 6 days, bitch. And then they go put on a fucking classic, another classic in Collision.
Yeah, I texted you that night. I was like, this is just free pay-per-view material on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think it makes it surprising. It makes it exciting. And you have two of the best going out there, not stealing the show, because that's what they went on with like 40 minutes left. So they gave them time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, MJF continues to just pass every single test with flying colors, I think, personally. The only thing that I absolutely despise about the storyline he's in right now, I cannot stand the fact that Jay White just fucking has this belt.
Well, this is what got me when because I watched the match this morning, was the fucking ref just gives it to Jay at the end. I was like, okay, you got control of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but this could easily be solved. You just give the man his belt.
Like, yeah, explain it to me in kayfabe. How does this make sense? Like in kayfabe, how does Tony Khan not go to Jay White and be like, you're not the champion. I'm about to put on this match between Omega and MJF. It's a huge match, two of the biggest stars in the company. We're going to have that fucking belt in the middle of it. So give it back to me or I'm stripping you of your match.
Yeah, the whole
gear.
point of that match was to be like, okay, MJF's fixing to beat your record.
Yeah.
For the amount of consecutive days he was a champ.
Yeah.
That belt needs to be part of that.
It needs to be there at the end of the match. So when MJF beats Omega, Omega can rip the belt away from the ref, and you'd be like, oh shit, is Omega going to do it? And then Omega does the thing where he hands it to MJF or puts the belt on him as like a passing of the torch, because Omega's getting up there in years and age.
And there was a nice show of respect between them.
Yeah, they're both baby faces. Like, the fact that the fucking world champion is coming out with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship belt, and that's the only belt he has, is just, I don't know.
Weird.
It's horrendous, is what it is. It's absolutely stupid.
I mean, it'll make it right, I'm sure, at Full Gear, but it just looks weird on TV. Too. Like, if you're just somebody just casually tuning in, you're like, what the fuck is even happening here?
Right. Like, Jay White doesn't need the belt consistently. All we needed from Jay White is Bullet Club Gold puts down the champion. The show goes off the air. Jay White's holding the title, and then he just lays it back on MJF.
Sure. Done.
It's how you do it. Like, I don't know. It just was so. That's why when Collision started Saturday and MJF came to run out, I thought he was actually going to grab the belt, because I was like, oh, they need the fucking belt. No, he just didn't. He just failed. Didn't get it. So that is absolutely a terrible decision, I think. But look, Juice Robinson continues to be entertaining.
He got some heat a couple weeks ago. Did we record after that? We might have been on a break.
I think, I don't think we recorded with the quarters thing. People get up on arms about stuff. Listen, it's wrestling. I don't care one way or the other.
Probably a little ill-timed, but I didn't think anything about it until people started popping off on Twitter, and then I was like, oh, okay, I see, but he's been doing this. And
it died down in a couple of days. Like, no one's even talked about it now.
Did we decide? Have we looked? Have they sold card blades yet?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if there's full size ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody in the crowd had another one last night, so I don't know if they're printing them themselves or what.
Maybe they're making their own. I like Jay White. I don't know. He seems to be getting not the right kind of heat. It's kind of like a little bit of like get off the screen type of heat. And I don't think he does himself any favors with the promos. I think he could just keep them a lot shorter. to me, he should be presented as like, when I talk, I say a few things, and then when I get in the ring, I just beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Like the AR Fox match to me was, I get he's a heel, a little bit too competitive. I think I would have had it more one-sided for Jay White. Because again, you were trying to present him as a legitimate threat to the world title, especially when it's a guy like MJF, who we've seen him go toe-to-toe with Bryan Danielson. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with Jon Moxley. On that same show, he went toe-to-toe with Omega and beat him. Like, so I don't know. I think Juice still has, I'm not saying that Jay White should, take him out of the main event scene, but like, I don't know, maybe Juice should do a little bit more of the talking, and Jay, just kind of as the guy.
The leader.
Yeah. That doesn't have to say much.
Matt Jackson had a little too much hair dye in his hair last night. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. And you want to talk about feeling that they don't feel important. Did you feel that way?
I don't think they have been in a while.
Like when they came out, I was like, this is kind of like Omega, for whatever reason, has just not been with them, and they got Hangman Page now. But like they're kind
of doing that Omega Jericho story, and then they had the Bucks in that angle last night, where they're like, "This is our locker room," or whatever.
And then you have Swerve, who does his thing.
Yeah,
he breaks into Hangman's house.
That was pretty cold.
I thought was fantastic. Yeah. Swerve continues to just be a star on that show. It is kind of cool. Like I saw a thing on Facebook, and this was not a good thing, that like this year, and I don't even know if this is true, this could be bullshit. The Facebook graphic said that like Jeff Jarrett has wrestled more TV matches than Hangman and Omega and Jericho and all these other stars. I'm like, that's not a good sign. Like,
yeah.
But now, for the past probably 2 weeks since we've been on this break, the stars are out for Collision and Dynamite. Like we've gotten Omega, we've gotten MJF.
It's rating season.
Yeah, we've gotten all the big names there. Jericho's there every single week. He's got the thing going on with Don Callis. I love the addition of Will Hobbs in that storyline. I think he gives them something great. A good mouthpiece in Don Callis. Will Hobbs, a guy we've had a lot of potential in, or seen a lot of potential in. House of Black was back, running, wrecking shit.
Let me ask you about this, because I've missed a lot, and you probably have at least seen some of it. I know Julia hit Sky Blue with the mist a couple weeks ago, right? So I noticed she had the shit under her eyes last week or whatever.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, was it yesterday? She came out to save Willow, right? And then you kind of expected her to turn on Willow since she had been misted, but then she hit Julia with the mist.
Yeah.
So is she like fighting it off, or what's happening? Do you think they're trying to do something different there?
I think maybe just trying to do something different. I think both of those women, Julia and Sky Blue, have done well with what kind of little they've been given, and they're definitely two superstars that you can kind of build a division around, I think. But yeah, maybe just subverting expectations, trying to a little bit.
Yeah.
Makes for good storytelling.
I was a little frustrated because I was like, I expressed frustration about turning Nick Wayne heel so quickly, and then I was like, now they're going to turn Sky Blue, another young talent that they're trying to build, and they did Takeshita that way too. But I don't know. I feel like they're going to do something different with Sky Blue.
Could be. We speculated that maybe there was a women's tag team belts that were coming down the pike at some point, which I guess could still be in the cards. We
mentioned TV ratings a minute ago. Speaking of TV ratings, brought in somebody big name a couple weeks ago to go on a what they're calling Sting's last run or whatever.
Yeah.
To lead up to Revolution, right? Ric Flair. So I guess he's just going to be the manager, probably, right? A lot of people were saying he'll wrestle, and I saw a thing right before you got here. He was like, I never say never, but he was like, I can still take bumps. He was like,
bro, Ric Flair, I don't need you taking bumps on TV.
We don't need you doing that.
Just come out and be by Sting, and that's that's good enough for me. I don't need to see Ric Flair. He can throw a chop at somebody if he wants, but I don't need to. Although, that being said, if Christian Cage were to drop Ric Flair with like a right hand, I'm not going to say I'd be mad at it, Christian continues to just be, if he ain't the best thing in AEW, he's damn near close right now. He continues to just be an absolute savage on the microphone. And in a way that just is. It's funny. It's hysterical
Yeah.
when he does it, and he kind of, this has slowly been building now, and him being like, "I know there's not a God, because if there was, Ric Flair would have been dead." When Ric Flair's like damn near crying because he's like back, Ric Flair's emotional shit.
Yeah.
That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool to see him and Sting in a ring together. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nostalgia run for
Yeah.
sure, and I'm not against it.
Give the man what he wants to go. If this is what he wanted, if this is a thing he requested, they were going to bring Flair in a year or so ago, right? And then all the plane ride from hell stuff came out on the documentary.
Yeah,
and they're like,
he's worth it alone just to sell merch.
Sure,
to make a T-shirt and sell merch. And the nostalgia of it being TBS and Tony Schiavone and Sting and everything like that. So that was cool. It just sucks that they don't have the rights to use any of the Sting versus Ric Flair Clash of Champions because it's all WWE owned at this point. So
I do think it's cool too. I tweeted this last night. I haven't used Twitter in forever, especially for the show. But I really like the way that Adam Copeland shows respect to Schiavone every time he comes out.
Yeah.
It's like every time he's out there, he's like, "Man, would you just look at this? I'm almost fucking in the ring with Tony Schiavone."
Yeah.
I just think that's cool.
Yeah, and I guess he's now inserted himself firmly into the Sting, Christian Cage, Darby Allin story.
Yeah, there's a big 3-on-3 match at Full Gear.
Yeah,
in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and then I guess the last thing from AEW is who do you believe is the mysterious person behind the devil mask?
I've only seen the one thing with the devil mask, which was from a month ago, probably at this point.
Oh, so he's been popping up randomly.
Yeah, see, I've missed all of that.
Random little things. Yeah, the big thing was they beat down Jay White.
That was the first
group
one, yeah.
of them. That was the first one. Then there'll be a handful of just like devil mask pops up. I think it was either Saturday night or Wednesday night. MJF did a promo and then immediately cut to a devil mask guy, and it was like glitching like he had hacked into the show, and he puts his hand over the camera. I mean, Adam Cole is the number one suspect, I would think. They've now added pay-per-view December 30th, World's End, in MJF's.
Go ahead, but we'll circle back to that.
In MJF's backyard, which you would have to think if they're going to do the bidding war of 2024 thing, maybe that's where MJF drops the title, and that's an Adam Cole being thing. I will say this, though. This is probably at a 0.0005% chance of this being real. If motherfucking CM Punk is behind that goddamn devil mask, okay, I will legitimately lose my shit. I don't think he is. I would not put money on it. But if they have somehow concocted this thing and this is a fucking long con, and
that would be goddamn genius.
I mean,
counterpoint, it'd be the dumbest thing ever if it's Jack Perry.
Surely to God, it's not. Okay, so I would put it at the list of it's Adam Cole. It is a superstar that we have not seen yet. Maybe somebody from MJF's indie past, which I think would be a really stupid way because you've not like Richard Holiday, indie. They were a thing in MLW. A lot of people don't know about that, so that would be dumb. It could be Kyle O'Reilly. Again,
but that's not a payoff.
Also, yeah, not huge. It could be MJF himself, which I don't even know.
That would be weird.
That would also be kind of stupid. And then I would.
The only two proper answers are Adam Cole or CM Punk.
Yeah, and I would put 99.99999% that it's on Adam Cole, which is going to be good. It'll be a good payoff.
Sure,
but I'm just saying, on the long off shot that it is somehow Mr. Phil Brooks. I mean, we will be. I'm talking about to be in for a wild fucking ride. That would break the internet.
Yeah,
it would. How
would they keep it quiet for that long?
Well, I don't know. It is wrestling after all. But that would be that sure would be
that would be wild.
A sight,
shit.
yeah.
I never even crossed my mind. So the last night, the major announcement from Tony Khan I was like, okay, well, this is what he's going to announce, a streaming deal, because they got another goddamn pay-per-view in December. Another $50. I was like, he's going to announce the deal. And then he's talking about Wembley. I was like, you been announced that.
Yeah, there were shots that of when WWE did their house show in London at Wembley Stadium, on the stadium across from it, they had the All In banner for next year.
You been announced that.
We
son.
already knew that was going to happen.
I was so fucking mad. I was like, you making me turn around and pay another goddamn $50 right after Christmas, 5 days after Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I know we say this all the time. It has to be coming next year, though. Right?
There ain't no way. No way they've packed as many fucking pay-per-views in this year as they did without the promise of a streaming deal.
And listen, we don't know all the technology, don't know the engineering. I don't see how it's hard. You already got the thing, just put them on there.
Yeah.
I don't, like, maybe it's just the app, like HBO Max or Max, whatever the fuck it is, Warner Brothers Max. Maybe it just can't handle, like, live capabilities,
All you got to do is upgrade your goddamn equipment.
Yeah.
Somebody could have been told them that a year ago.
Peacock does it.
Yeah.
So it can't be. And Warner Brothers got deep pockets. So
yeah. It's not that. They could have, all that take is some equipment upgrades.
Maybe this is just a last ditch effort to try to get as much money as you can.
Yeah.
But you got to think also, Warner Brothers has to be paying a pretty good penny to have the pay-per-view stuff on there too, on their streaming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Who knows? That's above both of our pay grades.
Yeah. Well, we can switch over to WWE now. Like I said, I did watch SmackDown last week, so I saw some of that with the contract signing with LA Knight and Roman.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. With LA Knight sitting at the head of the table.
You know what I love about this LA Knight thing, and this is what we've talked about with Roman. You know, Roman Reigns, everyone treats him as like this god. Right. All of these opponents pay reverence to him. But when you think about it, the only reason he's been champion for this long is because he's cheated literally every single opportunity. LA Knight is the first guy that's just like, I don't give a shit. Fuck you. I'm the fucking man. To walk right past.
Walks right past him.
Like, you're nothing to me.
I blurt laughed at that part.
It's fantastic. It fits his character. It fits, what Roman Reigns like. All Roman Reigns wants is for people to acknowledge him, right? He's a self-conscious champion. He has a fragile ego. And here's this dude at LA Knight that walks past him, sits at the head of the table. Like, he's not going to win.
No.
He won't win at Crown Jewel. Or let me say this. It will shock me if they pull a surprise. If he were to win, I don't think he keeps it for long. But it would be one hell of a moment at Crown Jewel. If somehow damn LA Knight pins Roman Reigns. But I think they're going to save that
Yeah.
for Cody Rhodes. But again, look, if this was a test to see if, 40-something-year-old LA Knight at this stage in his career can be the guy and be the superstar, I don't see how you look at this any other than, acing the test. I mean, he has stood toe-to-toe and looks every bit the part. And the crowd, I mean, my God.
They can't get enough.
They love him. So, yeah, I'm excited about this. It's, again, I see these TikTok things, people posting like, here's LA Knight's entrance from like 8 months ago, just compared to now, like, and no one was cheering. And now it's like,
we sure as hell weren't.
Yeah. It's like bordering on like Attitude Era type of pops.
When LA Knight faced Bray Wyatt in a goddamn Mountain Dew match, we were like, what the fuck are they doing here?
Yeah. And LA Knight could have gone from that and just been another dude. Like a Mr. Kennedy type guy or a dude who, we would look back and be like, damn, that maybe he would have had some potential, but some things just didn't work out for him. And now he's in segments with who is inarguably the biggest box office draw that WWE's ever had in Roman Reigns. So it's crazy. I speculated this would happen at Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And they just said, fuck it. We pull the trigger now at Crown Jewel a couple months before. And like,
it's football season. We need some eyeballs.
And I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working for everybody involved. It keeps Roman Reigns fresh too. It gets him away from the Jimmy J solo thing for a little bit. And he can kind of go on this thing with LA Knight. Similar to what the Sami Zayn stuff right around this time last year was sort of the same thing. It was sort of a detour.
Yeah.
They kind of, well, not a really detour, but it was an infusion of fresh new material into this story.
So Sammy and Jay already, not Sammy, Cody and Jay already lost the belts, right?
They did.
Okay.
Back to the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Which we kind of speculated they probably wouldn't hold on to those things for long.
At least we got a fun press conference out of it.
You got a firm press conference. And again, like there is a utility, I think, in having things that are legitimately surprising happen. Like that was the thing about the Attitude Era, is that when you turned it on, like who knew what was about to happen? You know, anything could happen. And I think having modern day wrestling, like that's kind of been a knock you can have against it. Is that it's kind of just been too scripted, too obvious. So yeah, just having a little pop, boom, Cody and Jay win the championship. Boom, fucking holy shit, LA Knight disrupts Roman Reigns' legendary reign. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it would be something people would talk about.
So, do you have anything else you want to talk about in WWE before we jump into Crown Jewel?
I don't think so. We can talk about it. We'll talk about the things as we run down the Crown Jewel card. We already mentioned LA Knight and Roman.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that already. So, for the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. What do you think happens here?
They probably keep it on Seth. But this new attitude change from Drew, I think, is welcomed. First of all, Drew is a fucking behemoth of a man.
Yeah, it's a large fella.
He's absolutely ginormous and can work. So this should be a good match. You know, we talk about show stealers all the time. This might be. I would expect that this match is better than the LA Knight and Roman Reigns match for sure.
I'm looking at the card on CBSSports.com, and they've got a prediction here that McIntyre wins, that Damian Priest cashes in and wins the title. Like, how long is he gonna hold on to that contract?
I just still don't buy Damian Priest I think that they've presented him. He's a tag team guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a world heavyweight champion material. Now, that doesn't say much because a lot of people have cashed in that briefcase and done whatever. You know, if they don't pull the trigger on the LA Knight surprise upset, maybe they do go with something like that where it's a quick title change and another quick title change. And, you know, you get out of Crown Jewel and Judgment Day's got all the titles again.
This next one looks pretty simple to pick. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Zoe Stark versus Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, I think it's Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, there's no way they take that off of her at the moment.
No, I don't think so.
United States Championship, Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul.
I wouldn't be surprised if Logan wins this.
Yeah.
You know?
Ray's had a good run with the title.
He's had a good run. Logan coming off his fight, the boxing fight against what's the fuck his name? Dylan Dennis or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Logan has a lot of momentum whenever he comes into WWE, big name recognition. Why not give him the belt for a little bit, you know? Hell, if he wins this, he might walk into WrestleMania with the damn United States Championship, and that could set up LA Knight versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania for the U.S. Championship.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cody versus Damian Priest.
I think Cody, yeah. I think that they've protected Cody quite a bit in his singles run here.
John Cena.
And we didn't talk about this, but during our break, we got the stare down between Cody and Roman. So that's still in the back of it's still in the back of their mind. This is where we're getting to, which was a nice stare down.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, hey, we're doing a lot of stuff, but just in case you're worried, here's still what we're getting to in Philly next year.
It's not Mania season yet.
Yeah.
John Cena versus Solo Sikoa.
Solo.
Yeah.
John doesn't need to be winning matches now.
No.
Especially at any moment the actor strike could end and he's fucking right back.
Yeah, he gone. Get him through Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair.
I don't know. I could see this one going either way.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like Io. She's had some good matches.
Yeah.
But Bianca's such a star.
Yeah, and she's been gone for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Charlotte Flair thing. Like at any point, Charlotte could just win the title, and because that's just who
Just
she
because,
is. You know?
yeah.
Bianca's in the same class. Like at any point, she could just win a title,
And nobody would be mad.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Io will win. Keep it up for a little bit longer. And the kickoff match, Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. Sami Zayn.
Yeah, although now that, well,
They might cheat or something. I mean, who knows?
and I still think that Sammy. I mean, listen, he is a big star. He is not positioned at the top of the card this year the way he was last year. Last year he was main eventing.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I still think somehow, some way they get to WrestleMania is right around the corner. We are going to have to start kind of laying inklings
Building up,
down,
yeah.
building stuff. I still think we see Sammy and Kevin against each other at WrestleMania. Don't know if that has any kind of implication here in this match, but I think it's probably just a way to get Sammy back in front of that Crown Jewel audience.
Yeah.
He was beloved last time he was over there. He's beloved everywhere he goes. He's a great babyface champion.
Yeah.
There is an alternate universe out there, though, and it would be interesting to take a little peek into that universe where Triple H or the powers that be do decide that Sami Zayn could carry the company, and Sami is the one that dethrones Roman and goes to WrestleMania, and it would be interesting
How
to
wild
see.
would that be a year later?
And would he even have the title now at this point? I mean, he would have been a babyface. Babyface
Yeah.
runs are very short.
Yeah.
But it is, we were having a lot of people, not just us, we're having serious conversations about, no, Sammy should be the guy at WrestleMania. It should not be Cody, and he should win. Obviously that didn't work out that way. Now Sammy's still got a huge, they main evented the first night of WrestleMania. And what was the best night of WrestleMania? I think that was kind of unanimous. But yeah, now to go from that to being on the kickoff show with JD McDonough, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if we missed an opportunity. He's still over, but
Yeah.
have we played the notes correctly all the way through? I don't know. Wild to think about. It's crazy how it all shifts, right? LA
Yeah.
Knight 8 months ago, nobody gave a shit. Now they do. Sami Zayn a year ago, if I named that like January,
Yeah.
comes out in Montreal, faces Roman Reigns, biggest babyface in the company. Now he's on the kickoff show.
It's wild.
Crazy how it works.
I mean, somebody got to be on the show.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
So what happened with The Miz the other night? There was a text in our thread with a friend of the show, Steven Ethan.
Oh, looks like they might be trying to maybe turn him babyface a little bit
Okay.
with some DIY, Tommaso Ciampa,
Yeah,
and Gargano. So we'll see. I skipped a lot of Monday Night Raw, so I might have skipped something about it. But
yeah.
no, and then we were just talking about The Miz. Like I said in the group chat, I think he's the most unlikely first ballot Hall of Famer of all time in any sport, probably.
He's held all the belts, right?
Well, like if you go back to when he first got into WWE, coming off the Real World, he's wearing the jean shorts.
Yeah.
He's got the headband, the fingerless gloves, and
Right.
you're like, this is gonna flame out in 6 months.
Mm-hmm. He was on what? What was the show? Tough Enough or whatever it was called?
Well, no, he was on the MTV. He was the Real World.
Yeah,
guy,
but he did that. But then he did the WWE developmental show.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was on that.
Oh, I thought he was the host of it. Anyway,
He might have been.
I think he might have been the host.
Okay, you might be right.
Anyway, regardless, he comes in. We're doing that. People forget he main evented a WrestleMania with John Cena in Atlanta. That's a very shitty WrestleMania. And it's a very shitty WrestleMania main event with him in it.
Mhm.
But he did do it. You can't take
Yeah.
it away from him.
It was funny because I was regularly watching The Real World back then.
Yeah.
And I remember his season and remember watching The Miz be born.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude is fucking crazy if he thinks he's ever going to see a WWE ring.
And now look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is as a solid comes. Every time any one of these, like, oh, you get wind of big time WWE layoffs coming, like, he's never brought up because he's just
He's probably a really solid dude to have backstage.
100%. 100%. Like, you need those type of guys. And also, he's so good. Whatever you need him to be, he can go do it. If you need him to do comedy, he can do comedy. If you need him to be serious, he can be serious. If you need him to hold the Intercontinental Championship for a year while you figure it out, he can do it and he can hold it down. Like, we talk about it all the time. Guys like Kevin Owens, guys like Sami Zayn, guys like The Miz, they're just always going to have jobs because they can do so much. You know, when I think last time I brought this point up, a dude like Miro can't do that. If Miro's not beating the shit out of people, he's nothing. And you can only go so far with that. That's Wardlow's problem right now in AEW. He's like, they're kind of just rehashing some shit we've already seen from him.
Yeah, we don't need Wardlow versus MJF again.
But he's powerbombing people, but there's nowhere else for him to go. He can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So a guy like The Miz who can, you know, tick so many boxes, that's why he's a Hall of Famer. It's just crazy because if you were a betting man, there's no way you would have put money on that when he first started.
Right.
With the fedora and he sucked too. Let's be honest, like he sucked.
Sure.
And he's gotten better and better and better, and now he is, you know, whenever he hangs him up, he'll be a Hall of Famer, and he'll probably be a manager, and he'll probably be he'll just be in that company for forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a job.
And it's wild. Kudos to him, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you know any of like the shit that he went through with when he was first starting out, Undertaker and Benoit kicking him out of the fucking locker room, and like, you know, takes a lot of balls to just kind of hang in there and be persistent.
Yeah. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
I think that's it for us for the week, unless you got something else that we need to touch on.
No, I'll watch Crown Jewel this weekend. We'll hit some Crown Jewel, some Collision.
Yeah, I guess I'll try to squeeze in all that stuff Sunday morning because I'll be at a wedding Saturday night.
We'll try to get back on track to our normal Tuesday recording.
Yeah.
So we'll be out Wednesday of next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably just have Crown Jewel. We'll have Friday Night SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Collision to talk about.
Yeah. And Raw.
And
did you say Raw?
And Raw, yeah. And any other news.
A lot of we'll be WWE heavy next week, but unless some shit pops off on backstage at AEW this
you know,
weekend.
old Dave Meltzer's kind of reporting that, you know, Will Ospreay could be leaning heavily towards AEW.
Well,
so
if you look at our most popular TikTok ever, there's no way he's gonna go to America. He said he'll never move to America. Therefore, he's never gonna join AEW.
I mean, listen, it could just be a ploy to get more money from New Japan, but
I haven't logged into our TikTok in a month since I haven't had time to make any TikToks. But I'm assuming that one's still popping off because the last time I looked in, that one was still.
We will be, you know, I think we said in that TikTok, money talks. I think we'll be proven right. He would fit in magically in AEW.
Yeah.
I think even more so than WWE. But that's just that's me. I'm not saying he wouldn't be a success in WWE. I think he would be.
Sure.
But I think the style of AEW, just from the pace of the matches and what his skill set is, it fits better with AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, one last thing I want to comment on too was Adam Copeland's spear last night in the middle of the ring. Somebody said it on Twitter or TikTok or somewhere, and I was like, I didn't think much of it, but they're like, did his spear get like incrementally better when he left WWE to go to AEW? Because like, looked like he killed him last night.
I say maybe he's actually laying it in.
Yeah,
you know, WWE, you don't want to. You got to work so much. You know, you ain't trying. It's just, you know, that was always the joke. He was just kind of hugging people.
Yeah,
hugging them and throwing them down.
I mean, I don't even remember who he speared last night, but I just was like,
I think it was Christian. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
it was Christian. Yeah,
looked like he killed him.
And you know they're buddies.
Sure.
So hey, we're gonna do it. Lay it in.
Put it on me.
Make it look good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I got, man. I'm just glad to be back. And we'll be in a routine. Try to record next Tuesday. Get it out on Wednesday. Y'all share us with your friends if you like it. We got, you know, Crown Jewel this weekend. And then what is it? The following weekend or weekend after that for full gear?
18th.
Yeah. And then another goddamn AEW pay-per-view.
November 30th.
Yeah.
Survivor Series will be sandwiched in there.
I'm trying to get over to the Shoals to Singing River to see the New South show. The saga continues on the 11th. It's Star Wars themed by the graphics and stuff. So I got to pull the trigger and get over there, get a ticket and get over there. But yeah, just happy to be back. We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
See ya.